Welcome back to Today we will learn about the explosive courtroom drama that's about to shake Salem to its very core this Friday, August 15th. Buckle up, because the twists and turns in Johnny DiMera's trial are reaching fever pitch, and nobody, absolutely nobody, is prepared for what's coming next. The courtroom eruption that changes everything. The tension in Salem's courthouse has reached a boiling point that threatens to shatter everything we thought we knew about this case. Dr. Marlena Evans' bombshell testimony has sent shockwaves through the proceedings, leaving District Attorney E.J. DiMera scrambling to completely restructure his defense strategy for his own son. What started as a calculated legal maneuver has now transformed into a desperate father's last-ditch effort to save Johnny from a potential life sentence. Sources close to the courtroom reveal that Marlena's hypnosis sessions with EJ have uncovered buried memories that paint an entirely different picture of that fateful night. The renowned psychiatrist's revelations have forced EJ to confront the possibility that his original theory about the shooter's identity was completely wrong. This stunning development has the veteran attorney questioning everything he believed about the case, including whether someone much closer to home might be responsible for pulling that trigger. The courtroom atmosphere has become so charged with emotion that even seasoned court reporters are struggling to maintain their composure. Spectators have been whispering about EJ's increasingly erratic behavior as he processes these new revelations, with some noting how his hands visibly shake every time Marlena speaks. The psychological warfare between the hypnotist and her subject has created an undercurrent of tension that threatens to explode at any moment. Chanel's devastating decision to sacrifice everything in what can only be described as the ultimate act of love and desperation. Chanel Dupree has made the heart-wrenching decision to potentially destroy her own future to save her husband. The bakery owner's willingness to confess to a crime she didn't commit has left even the most cynical Salem residents questioning whether true love really can conquer all. Her decision to take the stand represents more than just testimony. It's a wife's declaration that she would rather face prison than watch the love of her life suffer for something he didn't do. Behind the scenes, sources reveal that Chanel spent sleepless nights rehearsing her testimony, practicing her responses to the most damaging questions EJ might ask. The young woman has been working closely with legal consultants to understand exactly what her confession would mean, not just for Johnny's case, but for her own future. The weight of this decision has been crushing her, with friends noting how she's barely eaten or slept since making this monumental choice. What makes this situation even more heartbreaking is the cruel irony that EJ, the man prosecuting the case, is actually thrilled about Chanel's willingness to become his scapegoat. The calculating attorney sees her confession as the perfect reasonable doubt scenario that could set Johnny free, regardless of the devastating impact on Chanel's life. This cold calculation has created a moral dilemma that's tearing the DiMera family apart from the inside. Johnny's reaction to his wife's sacrifice has been nothing short of agonizing to witness. The young man finds himself trapped between his desire for freedom and his love for Chanel, creating an impossible choice that no husband should ever have to make. His pleas for EJ to show mercy during Chanel's cross-examination represent his last hope of protecting the woman he loves while still maintaining his innocence. The square confrontation that exposes hidden agendas. The meeting of minds taking place in Salem's town square promises to be far more significant than anyone realizes. What appears to be a casual encounter between key players in this drama is actually a carefully orchestrated moment where long-buried secrets threaten to surface. The conversation brewing between these individuals has the potential to completely derail the trial and expose motivations that certain people have worked desperately to keep hidden. Eyewitnesses describe an atmosphere of barely contained hostility as these characters circle each other like predators sizing up their prey. The subtext of their conversation reveals years of accumulated resentment, betrayal, and hidden agendas that have been simmering beneath Salem's seemingly peaceful surface. What starts as a polite exchange quickly escalates into a verbal sparring match that could have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved in Johnny's case. The timing of this confrontation is particularly suspicious, occurring just as the trial reaches its most critical juncture. Some observers believe this meeting is no coincidence, suggesting that certain parties are working behind the scenes to manipulate the proceedings in ways that could completely change the outcome. The revelation of these backroom dealings threatens to expose a conspiracy that reaches much deeper than anyone imagined. Leo's jury room drama becomes Salem's hottest gossip. The hotel sequestration of Johnny's jury has created an unexpected comedy of errors, with Leo Stark at the center of what's quickly becoming Salem's most talked-about side story. The flamboyant journalist's assignment to a shared hotel room has created a powder keg situation that threatens to compromise the entire trial proceedings. Leo's inability to contain his naturally dramatic personality has already begun to wear on his fellow jurors, creating tension that could potentially result in a mistrial declaration. Sources from inside the hotel reveal that Leo has been treating his jury duty like an extended sleepover party, complete with impromptu fashion shows and unsolicited relationship advice for his roommate. His theatrical personality clashes dramatically with the serious nature of his civic responsibility, creating situations that would be hilarious if they weren't potentially catastrophic for the legal proceedings. The most concerning aspect of Leo's jury service involves his discovery by Javi, creating a conflict of interest that nobody anticipated. This unexpected encounter between Leo and someone connected to the case raises serious questions about whether the jury's integrity has been compromised. Legal experts are already speculating that this development could provide grounds for an appeal, regardless of the trial's outcome. Leo's roommate, described by hotel staff as a quiet, reserved man, has reportedly requested multiple room changes since being paired with Salem's most notorious gossip columnist. The poor man's attempts to maintain the solemnity appropriate for such serious deliberations have been repeatedly undermined by Leo's need to turn every moment into a dramatic performance. Sophia and Tate's heartbreaking reunion reveals devastating truths. The encounter between Sophia Choi and Tate Black at Salem's local bar represents far more than a simple meeting between former lovers. It's a collision of guilt, lies, and desperate hope that threatens to destroy both of their carefully constructed new realities. Sophia's attempt to comfort Tate over the adoption situation she orchestrated reveals the depth of her deception and the lengths she's willing to go to keep her secrets buried. The emotional weight of their conversation becomes even more devastating when Ari arrives with baby Tesoro, whose true identity has already begun to raise suspicions among those closest to the situation. Javi's growing questions about the baby's appearance and the timeline of Sophia's pregnancy threaten to unravel the elaborate web of lies she's constructed to hide the truth about her child's fate. What makes this situation particularly heartbreaking is Tate's genuine grief over losing access to what he believes is his daughter. His desperate attempts to connect with the adoptive parents, orchestrated through Melinda Trask's deception, demonstrate the cruel psychological torture Sophia has inflicted on the father of her child. The young man's pain is palpable as he struggles to accept that he may never see his daughter again, completely unaware that the baby he's mourning is actually thriving just blocks away from where he stands. Sophia's internal conflict becomes increasingly visible as she watches Tate's anguish, knowing that a single word from her could end his suffering. However, her commitment to her college plans and her fear of the responsibilities of motherhood keep her locked in this cruel charade. The guilt is eating her alive, manifesting in nervous tics and emotional outbursts that threaten to expose her deception to anyone paying close attention. The arrival of Ari with baby Tesoro creates a moment of such intense dramatic irony that even longtime Salem residents are holding their breath. Javi's analytical mind has already begun connecting dots that others have missed, and his questions about the baby's ethnicity and timing could be the key that unlocks this entire conspiracy. The Asian features that Javi has noticed don't align with what he knows about Sophia and Tate's backgrounds, creating a puzzle that he's determined to solve. As Friday's episode approaches, the convergence of these explosive storylines promises to deliver the kind of shocking revelations that have made Days of Our Lives appointment television for generations of fans. The courtroom drama, family betrayals, and hidden secrets are all reaching their breaking point simultaneously, setting the stage for consequences that will reverberate through Salem for months to come. Paul Telfer, the soap opera star who looks ready to fly into a superhero role for many television viewers, Paul Telfer is already a familiar face. Best known for his portrayal of Xander Cook on Days of Our Lives, the Scottish-born actor has spent the past decade winning fans over with his charm, his rugged good looks, and his ability to bring depth to a character who often walks the fine line between hero and villain. But recently, a series of photographs has fans seeing him in an entirely new light. Not just as the complex soap opera anti-hero, but as someone who could quite easily step into the tights and cape of a full-fledged superhero on the big or small screen. A look made for a cape. Paul Telfer has always been known for his striking physique and commanding presence, but recent professional photos have elevated that image into something almost mythic. The pictures, shared widely on social media, show Telfer with chiseled facial features, a confident stance, and that unmistakable glint in his eyes that could belong to a comic book champion. These are not just snapshots taken between scenes on set. They are carefully crafted portraits that show off the best of what Hollywood looks for in an action star. Fans immediately picked up on it, flooding the comments section with comparisons to Superman and other legendary heroes. One can understand why. At 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders, sharp cheekbones, and a fitness regimen that keeps him in top form, Telfer has a natural screen presence that could easily carry a heroic role. Even though his day's character Xander often has a morally questionable streak, the man himself seems to radiate a quiet, good-natured strength, exactly what audiences imagine in their favorite on-screen protectors. A photographer's praise. The buzz really began when photographer Kathy Liu posted her most recent session with Telfer on Instagram. Alongside the striking, desaturated portraits, Liu wrote heartfelt words. "This time last year, I got to shoot with the amazing, talented, and kind at Paul Telfer, a true legend and the heart of a hero. Loved our time shooting, Paul. You are proof that Superman exists in real life." The sentiment wasn't just flattery. There's genuine admiration in her words. And Telfer responded in kind, saying, "Thank you, Kathy. It was so great to shoot with you, hugging face." The exchange was warm and mutual, a sign that the heroic qualities people see in him aren't just physical. They come from his personality as well. Liu replied, "It was absolutely amazing, hugging face, sparkling heart." And from there, the fans took over. Comments poured in. "No one can take a bad picture of him," gushed one admirer, while another called him the real Man of Steel, a nickname that stuck as more people weighed in. The Superman connection. It's not unusual for actors to be compared to superheroes, but with Paul Telfer, the comparison feels particularly apparent. His followers were quick to declare him the real-life Superman, with one writing, "Without a doubt, this is Superman in real life, medium light skin tone emoji modifier starstruck." And while many fans focused on his looks, others took the opportunity to praise his craft. "Love this guy. Great actor." Red Heart, wrote one. Another went a step further, saying that while Superman was an appropriate title, perhaps superstar was even more fitting. From soap opera to action hero, the truth is, Paul Telfer has already shown the kind of versatility that superhero roles demand. On Days of Our Lives, his Xander is a man of contradictions. Tough yet vulnerable, impulsive yet capable of deep loyalty. It's a character type that often appears in superhero films, where the hero must wrestle with personal flaws while still stepping up when the moment calls for courage. And Telfer's fans know he's not shy about showing the results of his hard work. In earlier photo shoots, he posed shirtless for another photographer, displaying a six-pack that could make even seasoned action stars envious. He posted both photos and behind-the-scenes videos from that shoot, which sparked an avalanche of reactions from both viewers and co-stars. Emily O'Brien, who plays Gwen on Days, teased in the comments, "Telfer, I can't imagine how many of your fans have watched this video 19 times in a row, clapping hands fire." Abigail Klein, who plays Stephanie, added a playful jab, "Wow, you should really consider going back to the gym." Smirking face, a tongue-in-cheek nod to the actor's already impeccable fitness. A decade of dedication. In March, Paul Telfer celebrated 10 years on Days of Our Lives. For an actor in daytime television, that's an impressive milestone. one that speaks to his professionalism, his work ethic, and his connection with fans. Over the years, viewers have watched Xander evolve from a dangerous outsider to a more layered, human character who still battles his demons but strives to do better. That same arc, a flawed man learning to be a hero, is at the heart of many superhero stories. It's no wonder that, when looking at these recent photographs, fans can so easily picture Telfer stepping into the role of a costume savior. The hero fans already see whether or not Hollywood decides to give him a shot at playing a superhero remains to be seen. But in the eyes of many, Paul Telfer has already earned the title. Between his dedication to his craft, his humility with colleagues, his warm interactions with fans, and yes, his undeniable physical presence, he has the kind of star power that doesn't come along every day. Perhaps someday soon, audiences will see him on screen, soaring above a city skyline, cape billowing in the wind. Until then, fans will keep rewatching their favorite moments from Days of Our Lives and those striking photos, knowing they've spotted a real-life hero long before the rest of the world catches on.